traveling down that road and we are flirting with disaster today, boys and girls. That's because today's film isn't a pure-cut horror movie, but it flirts with that line so hard that the title has become mentioned more in our genre than any other. That movie is none other than Wes Craven's 2005 mile-high thriller, Red Eye. No ghostly villains or immortal killers, Red Eye uses the scariest villain of all time, a human being. A human being who puts one girl in an extreme ultimatum while sitting next to her on a plane. Traveling is anxiety-ridden on its own. There isn't any need for more stress, but that's what makes this movie so palpable. It's a situation we can all understand. A vulnerability no one can hide from, being outside of your comfort zone. It isn't every day I get to cover a film from my favorite director, but luckily today is one of them. Without any further introduction and without too many further aviation puns, it's time. The captain has put on the fasten seatbelt signs and he has requested everyone return to their seats and brace for impact. Here is our take on Red Eye. Boom! Welcome to the Sloppy Horror Podcast. I am your host and your scary movie companion, Christian Ramey. And I am back with the best producer in the whole wide world, Mr. Ozark Mark. And look, baby, we're doing the Mile High Club today. We are in the sky. I'm always high, and I've always got red eyes, but this is a good one, Mark. I'm psyched. Let's go. All right? You're the co-pilot. You could be the pilot. I'll be the co-pilot. I don't care, okay? Whatever you want to do, brother. Whatever you want. Unless you're trying to fly into a building, then I'm going to have to stop you for America. But it's because we don't put up with that. We don't put up with that bullshit. Not up in here. Anyways, Ozark, how's life?
Dude, I don't know if it's. I think you can make 9/11 jokes now. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but it's okay because we lived through it. Anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome back to the one and only Sloppy Horror Podcast. Right up, back it up in your ass. We are right here in the Wildcard season, and this is definitely a Wildcard movie. This is a great one. Sometimes we go out of the realm a little bit, you know, but hey, this is technically a thriller, but it is scary elements in it, without a doubt.
And Wes Craven, baby.
Wes Craven. What are we talking about today?
We are talking about Wes Craven's 2005 thriller, Red Eye, starring Rachel McAdams, featuring Cillian Murphy.
I always thought it was Cillian Murphy. I just learned this a second ago before we started the episode.
I had to clarify earlier this morning. I always thought it was... Let me rephrase it. I had no idea how his name was pronounced, but I always had thought I heard it Cillian somewhere. So, like, that's how I pronounced it. But then, like, I was going in today, I was like, dude, am I going to sound stupid as shit if I say his name wrong the whole time? So let me figure this out. And it is Cillian. Like, he's an Irish guy. But aside from that, dude is an incredible actor.
Oh, dude, he's one of my favorites, especially after watching Peaky Blinders. That's when he, like, ultimately, I liked his movies before that, but his performance as Tommy Shelby in that series, oh, man.
Oh, man.
Over the top. And I believe he won an award for that, which he definitely deserves. He's a great actor. Of course, he's been in other things. Show. You know, he's in Batman. He's on all kinds of things. Great actor, man.
I love this guy. And what's fun about him is he's like a handsome dude. He's got these crazy-ass blue eyes, but he looks scary. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes there's those people that are, like, kind of dashing, man or woman, but they have, like, a scary side to them. You're like, oh, shit, you're like a... He has a villain element to him. Every time you look at him, you're like, I don't know about that guy. Like, that guy could be up to no good. You know what's funny? My wife, she has a cousin, I swear to God, looks dead on him. Not like he kind of dead on him. Like, it's really funny and weird, but...
Does he have the blue eyes?
Dead on him.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's fucking weird.
I have not met my doppelganger yet.
What's really strange is, like, I only had met him a handful of times, but I watched this movie specifically with her, and she said, that looks just like my cousin. And I was like, oh, yeah, everybody says that. And then I, like, met the guy again. I was like, I couldn't even concentrate. I'll tell you this, I'm never getting on a plane with that son of a bitch. I tell you that right now.
No.
Now,
I'm tired of all these motherfucking terrorists on this motherfucking plane.
Not up in here. So, obviously, we'd like to lay down a little synopsis for you boys and girls so you understand the movie we're talking about if you haven't watched it. But before we jump into all of that...
I'm ready to jump. What's going on?
We would like to thank each and every one of you for joining us, and as you can tell, this show is not watered down with advertisements. We love that, and the only kind of advertisement you are going to hear is us mentioning our Patreon. And what Patreon is it's a website that you can subscribe to less than a cup of coffee a month, and what we do is post bonus episodes on there every week. Hour long, just like these are, but we're not talking scary movies, we're talking a little bit of everything. And it's a fun way you can support the show. So patreon.com/sloppyhorror. All right, moving forward with Red Eye. I like that.
Red Eye.
Sounds like a cowboy. I done watch me that red eye. Scary. So, here's what happens, all right? We have a young woman, maybe, late 20s, early 30s, played by Rachel McAdams.
She's a good-looking broad.
Very beautiful. She is at an airport, okay, and she is catching a red-eye flight. She was in Texas for a funeral for her grandmother. She was flying back to Miami. Her name in the movie is Lisa Reiser, and Lisa, she works at a hotel, and she's a pretty big wig. She, runs the whole hotel, pretty high glamorous hotel in Miami. So, at the beginning of the movie, you could just get to lay down. She's getting a million phone calls. She's a busy woman. She's a working woman. INDEP. Whatever.
She's an independent woman.
Whatever, yeah. Whatever Webby said. That's what she's doing, all right? Well, she happens to bump elbows with a guy, ends up striking a conversation with a guy named Jackson Ripner, and he is played by Cillian Murphy. And when in the airport, this guy just comes across as super handsome and dashing,
Yeah, the man that doesn't exist
exactly.
For real, ever.
Exactly. So he's super suave, and I don't know, there's a situation where a man was getting into an exchange with one of the workers at the airport. With Lisa's work in, HR and dealing with people every day, she stepped in and tried, de-escalate the situation. Dude was a dick to her. Cillian steps in. He's like, hey, look, why don't we all just calm down? And she's all like, oh. He looks like the super sweetest guy, right? And while they're waiting for their delayed flight, they just happen to get a drink together. And when they go to sit on their plane, she goes to sit on her seat, or goes to find her seat, and she realizes she's sitting next to the guy. What are the chances? This broad's thinking this is true love. This is right out of a fucking book.
This is fate. What are the odds?
I can't wait to tell our grandkids this story. She's thinking this shit. All this is going through her mind, and she's excited, and it's just plucked out of her. I love this. So once the airplane takes off, Mr. Jackson Ripner turns to her and says, hey, you have a big political guest coming to your hotel. He's going to stay in this room. If you don't move his room to this room so said people can assassinate him, I'm going to kill your fucking dad. And here is your dad's wallet as proof that I know what I'm talking about. He drops her wallet right in front of her. So these two are in the air, having to work out a situation without alerting everyone around them, because he says, look here, you alert anybody, I'm going to tell my guy on the ground to kill your dad, okay? Unless this guy moves hotel rooms, your dad is dying. So, very suspenseful. You have 2/3 of this movie that is just in an airplane with two people, and I tell you, it doesn't miss a beat, doesn't skip a beat. There is high intensity, thrilling situations. Now, obviously, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a fucking patriot, okay? And I know a lot about 9/11, not like conspiracy stuff. I've done a lot of research as far as the victims, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not going to jump, too deep into it, but the largest part of my heart goes out to the people that suffer with that shit. But this movie, the reason we mention it is clearly a domino effect of what happens in the world when major, terrible events happen. This is 2005. I don't think that's a coinky-dink that we start to have crazy airplane terrorist-style movies after that. That's what's going on.
Yep.
Okay?
You've said it many times before, and that's the truest thing ever.
Yeah, it's like holding a mirror up to see what the current state of fears are in society. So in 2005,
I mean, I don't give a fuck even now. Like, I don't care if planes freak you out or not. Traveling, everybody hates to travel. You get the bubble guts all day. You're sweating even though you're not hot. It's you're just dealing with shit all day, and you're just a little anxious, and you want to get to where you're going. And if somebody in the air starts fucking with you, and now this isn't a crying baby. This isn't a snoring pet. This dude's like, I'm going to kill your people. You're like, God damn it. I have to deal with this. Like, I can't just put on headphones. I have to deal with this now. Fuck. You know, it's like, that is a situation. But I tell you another thing that you can tell why. Because pretense, when any time a terrorist situation happened on a plane, what would happen? The plane would land. And then they would do negotiation. Like, we're going to ransom these people. You get us another plane to take us here. Like, it would always land, and there would be a ransom involved. So a lot of times you'll hear questions of the people like, you know, why didn't people, you know, fight back as much, or why didn't they have as much hostility? Nowadays, you wouldn't play that shit. Somebody gets up weird on an airplane now. You're like, sit the fuck down, bro. Like, I will America the fuck out of you, dude.
Oh, yeah, nobody's fucking around. I mean, forever. That won't ever leave.
Yeah.
The airports change forever after that day.
So what's crazy about this situation is that it's only targeted at one person, and you have to be like quiet. And like, that would be a tough situation to go through. What I think is beautiful about not only this movie, but all of Wes Craven movies is Wes Craven kind of represents this little dose of Americana. Okay, if you're thinking Scream or A Nightmare on Elm Street, you got like the boyfriend climbing up to the window, okay? You have the parents who don't understand. Maybe they're drunks or maybe they're whatever. It's the common structure. But what I love about this movie, it comes down to a dad and a daughter relationship. And the final showdown, once the plane has landed, takes place in Lisa's childhood home where her dad lives, okay? And nobody's like, if somebody took you back to your parents' house, right, and tried to kill you there, like, no way, bro. You know every nook and cranny of that home. You know, that's your Home Alone moment.
Oh, it is, 100%. I can tell. I know every noise that that the floor makes. I know every noise. I know which step you're on. I know which room you're in. I know exactly where you are.
I don't know why I like that a lot about this movie, that she comes back home and like even though it's a bad memory at home, like she's going through her like closet and finding shit from her old sports days to hit the killer. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Well, that's something Wes Craven has always been good at. He puts those little landmines out throughout the movie. Like even the doctor, you know, the annoying guy in the beginning of the movie that has that freak out, guess who he is? He's the doctor on the plane. So He comes back. It all circles around. He opens his room. Oh, your room's just how you left it.
Yes.
Oh, guess what? Good thing, because now you got this big old club when you come back to your final showdown. You know, it all circles around. And there's a comfort thing in that, you know? I mean, it gets you ready.
Comforting.
It gets you ready, and you don't even know that it's coming, but you know it's coming.
I love it, too, because it shows the strength. I think Lisa's a fucking badass final girl. She's a badass. I mean, she beats the shit out of dudes, stabs them, she gets out of there.
Dude, she has like 3 concussions in this movie.
Right.
And still got the adrenaline to go through it. I'm just sitting here like, oh, she hit her head again. Oh, nope, there's another head hit. Oh, there's another head.
This girl's got CTE.
This girl has got a pretty thick skull on her shoulders. Like, good for her.
And then I also like that, like, even though the dad he's represented as like old and worrying and naive, like, you know, because he's just calling his daughter a bunch and she's Miss INDEP, you know, she's all doing her thing, and he's like, are you okay? She's like, Dad, why you always ask me if I'm okay? She gets mad because he's always like, well, I just want to. Dude, I feel that. Like, that tugs at my heartstrings as a father. But at the end, who comes through to save the motherfucking day? Old dad with the gun. You don't fuck with a dad and his daughter. Like, I mean, no, but you don't fuck with the dad in general, but like,
no, and
you don't sleep on dad's strength.
He shot with one arm. He did the one arm.
God damn.
Not 2 hands, one arm, while his daughter was in the shot range. He said, fuck it. Put him right in the chest.
Dude.
Stop it. That's only in movies. Come on now. Like, use 2 hands and aim the fucking gun.
Yeah.
All right? Because, look. Okay, you do one arm with a fucking pistol, that shit will go everywhere. Try and go to a shooting range and shoot with one hand. You ain't gonna hit what the fuck you're hitting. It's hard enough to hit it with two hands.
No, you're not getting that.
It always pisses me off in movies when they do that, but yeah.
There's a part where they're in the air, and Lisa looks to Jack, and she says, well, how do I know my dad's okay? How do I know he's alive? He said, well, last time my guy checked, he told me he was watching the comedy special and eating leftover lasagna. And you're like, God damn it, I would be guilty of that.
That sounds like
just by myself, and someone's watching me.
Who hasn't done that? Who hasn't done that?
Every time the phone rings, he's just like a step off. He just misses. Oh, huh?
Yeah, he builds the suspense of him not answering the phone at first, like doing something.
They play him off as an old simpleton dad.
Old Craven coming in with the suspense.
Yeah, but they make him out to just be old silly dad. He doesn't know what's going on. He's lost a step, and it's like, but the second you see somebody pulling your daughter by the fucking hair, it's like, I don't care how old I am. I gotta go. You gotta go, bro. Yeah, you gotta go.
It's instinct. They got that old man rage. You don't fuck with old man rage.
Dude, have you ever felt an old man's grip? If he grabs your sweatshirt, he could rip it off of your body.
Oh, I swear, I don't know why. It's like that. It's like that. From? It's like that in special needs strength. It's just ridiculous. Like, where do they get this strength? Like old man, they shake your hand. It's like crumbling you. It's like, I'm trying to. Like, where do you get this strength? I don't know, man. It's
An
just
old
that
man can just like unscrew a screw with his finger out of the wood. You're like, dude, what the fuck? Did you just open a can with your fingernails? Like, dude. I'm all right. I don't think you are, dude.
It's that Great Depression shit, I'm telling you.
Bro, they just dip.
They couldn't even afford screwdrivers. They grow out their nails and put it in a Phillips head and screw it themselves.
I'm putting this in the universe. Ozark, I hope when we're older, we have that strength, because we won't need it all the time, but there's just that one, instance where somebody's trying to stick up an old lady at the grocery store and you're able to grab him, little shit.
I don't know, man. Maybe you just can't. Maybe that's a superpower you get when you get older. You just get old man strength. I feel like that's a thing. As long as you don't deprive your body of alcohol every day, you should be fine.
Yeah, and it's like, you're not going to have a lot of stamina. You're not going to be able to throw down for 15 rounds, but you got that little glimmer where you can fucking put some power down. Now, you're going to have to take months to recharge to get back to those levels. Yeah, but you got a good one.
You're going to have to get in your chair and eat a bunch of soup, but you'll be back.
You remember, like in all, like, in most of the movie, like in Beethoven even, like, Dad got one punch. He's got that just like, and he laid that dude the fuck out. But, like, if it would have went past that, Dad probably would have got washed.
You just got to time it right, too. You got to take the right moment, too. You can't waste it.
Yeah, and you got to look cool in front of your kids and family, but you can't be too scary where they're afraid. It's got to be that, like, son of a bitch.
I know. God, dude, it sucks being a dude. It's too much pressure. It really is.
It does.
It's too much goddamn pressure.
I just want to suck some titties and be held. But here we are.
Yeah.
What's going on?
That's a good idea, actually.
It is a good idea, honestly. Anyway. I'd fall asleep.
Tell me what your favorite part of this movie is, Christian Ramey.
I don't know why I didn't analyze this.
Why don't you analyze that?
Do it now. The bathroom scene is great. I feel like there's new kinks unlocked in that bathroom, all right? First off, she was getting choked up a little bit. Look, I've got a little bit of problems, so, like, that's where my brain goes at first. I'm like, whoa, all right, So you like to be choked or you like to choke? To choke. I don't want to be I'm freaking out. I mean, I don't know, maybe in the right situation, but no, not at all. It was her. She played a very realistic...
Yeah, them broads, they like to be choked.
And it was a very realistic her getting choked scene. But aside from, new levels of kinks unlocked inside of this bathroom, I thought it was great because the whole movie, they're sitting side by side and they're going through like an intense situation, but they're not drawing a lot of attention because everyone else is around. And even though they're in the small confinement of the bathroom, it's the first time that they're alone. And, like, as a viewer for the first time, you're like, ah! Like, because he's like, as soon as she gets out, when she's in the bathroom, she's just, like, falling apart. She pulls herself together, and she's like, whoa, I'm going to use the soap and write a message on the mirror. Say that this guest has a bomb. So they find him. Well, second she swings open that bathroom door, he's smarter than that. He knew that she was going to leave some kind of note, so he saw her in there, and he bum rushed in there, locked the door with both of them in there, and you're like, fuck, dude, this is about to be heavy. And I just thought it was a great scene of acting between both of them, and, really enjoyed that. What about you, Ozark Mark?
Well, it was a part that made me laugh, and I probably should not have laughed at this part, especially nowadays. But when it happened, I just bursted out laughing for some reason. It was when earlier in the movie she gives an old lady in the line her book.
Yeah.
It's like a Dr. Phil book. She's like, "Oh, my dad gives me a ton of these. Just take it." So she sees this lady on the plane. Now, Cillian Murphy, he has some older cougars trying to help get him to take her luggage down or something. So they're apart for a second. So the old lady comes to her and says, "Oh my gosh, this book, here's your book back." And she's like, "Oh no, hold on a second." So she takes a pen. She's trying to write a note in the book to alert this woman. This is her first attempt at a note, which once your first attempt fails, you're not going to get another note. Guy's too smart, knock it off. But anyway, she tries to write the note in the book. And Cillian keeps looking back, so obviously he knows what she's doing. But she gets the book back, and the old lady walks away, and he sits back down, and all he says is, "So I'm pretty sure she's going to read that," or whatever, because he knew. And then out of nowhere, he just headbutts the fuck out of her.
Just knocks
her the fuck out. And I'm thinking, like, why the fuck did you just do that? Like, you need her to make the call. Like, why would you knock her out? Like, a straight headbutt, just a boom. Like,
he got angry.
My God. It was just so funny. Like, he just straight headbutted the fuck out of her. And that was her first concussion of, like, 5. But just straight headbutts her. And, like, nobody noticed it on the plane, too. Like, you just headbutted this woman on a plane.
Viciously.
Somebody would notice this.
Oh, yeah.
You would think.
These planes were a little more spacious, too.
Yeah, but I just fucking cracked me up.
Yeah, I also thought, too, I mean, this is another one of those flicks that's definitely a 2000s movie. And it plays out, I mean, it's a thriller. It's not all the way straight horror. It's thriller with horror elements in it. But it also has some, like, 2000s action going on, almost like some CSI type shit. And I thought it was very, I mean, I don't think it would work, obviously, because it was in a movie, and I believe that, you know, government agencies are smarter than that. But, like, I just thought that was a cool idea, how those fishermen pulled up the weapons from the bottom of the ocean. Like,
yeah.
That political guy was going into the hotel room, and then they were scoping the area out. They noticed a boat down in the ocean, and they're like, well, we'll send the Coast Guard out to search them. And they did, and they were just fishermen. They're like, all right, have a good time. And as soon as they left, they pulled up their fishing lines, and it had a big-ass box with, like, a fucking RPG on it.
Yeah, they pulled out an RPG. Like,
fucking anti-tank gun.
I know. Like, so, the shit you see in, like, Call of Duty, like, you take down planes with this fucking thing, and they just pull it up with fishing line, which I don't.
After they shoot it, they just drop it in the water, like, let's go.
Oh, you had to. You're not gonna want that. Just drop it in there. But damn, like, I didn't expect them to pull out a bazooka. I pictured them to pull out like a sniper rifle or something like that. No, it was a goddamn tank missile launcher gun.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. What about when that lady ran into her with her Starbucks? That fucking, don't worry, it's iced.
The best thing she said, she was like, "Larry, I need another iced mocha."
He said, "You drank that one already?"
I would think. And, you know, I know it's 2006, but that was still like $4. Now it's like $9, but that was like $4 or $5. Well, in an airport, it was probably like $9. You know,
too expensive.
Way too expensive.
Too much money.
Way too much money.
But nobody's pulling that shit now. Nobody's pulling that shit now. You know what I think is a funny, you know how they do like off-brand things like for movies, or they make like companies that aren't real? The name of the airline is Fresh Air. I don't know why.
I noticed that
stupid.
Too.
Fresh Air. Welcome to Fresh Air, motherfucker. I don't know why it's so simple and stupid, but it made me laugh.
Man, tell me it wasn't hilarious watching him talk after he got stabbed in like his esophagus.
That was a bad shot. That dude was like, I found your pen. There's your pen, dude.
Dude, getting a pen shoved in there. Ow.
Yeah. That little girl tried to help her out, too. As the bad guy was running off the plane, the little girl kicked her suitcase out and it tripped him up.
Once again, you establish her in the beginning of the movie saying, are you afraid to fly by yourself? No, I'm not scared. And she showed up in the Call of Duty and kicked that bag right out of there, tripped his ass, gave her a little bit of time. Another little, it's coming back around again.
And I saw Rachel McAdams run in heels. Now, I know there were moments probably where there weren't heels on for the run shots, but there are shots where it is not a stunt double. It is her in fucking heels running.
That's a skill.
That's like running, not
First of all, wearing heels in general was a skill, okay?
Yeah, fucking booking it, dude. Like, no wonder she fell. I would have fell, dude. Like, I would have, you know those funny videos you see on the internet? That would be me.
I do want to try that. You know, in airports, the flat like escalator
walk
things.
Thing?
Yeah, walk thing. Dude, it's hard just walking and trying to get every time you step off that, you gotta like stop and stuff. Like, if I was running full speed and trying to get off of that, I think I would fall too. Like,
oh yeah.
The step of it, I don't know.
I want to run the other way.
You'll get nowhere.
It'd be cool if you could like ride a bike at a perfect speed where you just go nowhere. Like where you could just...
Next time we're in the airport, we need to get two side by side. We need to each go to one end and see who can run against it and get the race.
Oh, see, I like that.
And then we'd hold bets. Like everybody, bet on your guy. Let's
just
do that in general. You can only
leap. You can only leap like leapfrog.
Leapfrog.
So like it's constantly moving, so you're losing what you gain, but you gotta just keep going.
We gotta get somebody to film a TikTok. That would be hilarious.
Bro, that would be intense.
Oh my god.
It would take a minute leaping, but
we need to go to the airport and try this. Like in the middle of the night, you know what I mean? So, there's not traffic and we don't get kicked out, but
security guys run up to the other security guy. What are you doing? We gotta get him. Hold on, let him finish. I want to see who wins. Dude, that is fun.
That sounds really fun. Exhausting, but it's fun. I had to book it through the airport recently, and that is not fun.
Like Home Alone? You were just...
Yes. Well, this is what happened, okay? So I got there my flight 20 minutes early, okay? 20 minutes before boarding was supposed to get. Of course, there was a delay. They said, all right, there's having some maintenance issues or whatever they typically say. The new takeoff time was within an hour. An hour delay. Okay. So there used to be a smoking section in that airport, but it was on the other side of the airport. Okay, so I had to go down. It was like a 15-minute walk, 15-minute walk probably. So I had an hour to kill. So I walk over there. The smoking lounge is gone. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm not paying for anything here. Fuck that. So I walk back over. And I had a few bucks of cash in my pocket, so I went to the vending machines. Now, the vending machines are at the beginning of the terminal where I'm at. My one is all the way at the end of it. All the way. It's a good, mile and a half of terminal. Not lying. It's fucking long. Well, not a mile. It was probably a mile.
But yeah, probably close, too.
But I was only gone for, maybe 20 minutes. 20 minutes at max, and I'm starting to put my money in, and they're like, final boarding for this flight. I'm like, oh, fuck. So I had to run all the way down there. And you feel like an idiot when you run through the airport. Have you ever ran through an airport?
Nope.
You look like an idiot when you do it. Because every time you look at somebody running through the airport, you're like, get your shit together. Like, you judge them. I know you've thought it, too. Like, why can't this person be on time? Now you look like an asshole.
This guy.
I know, you look like an asshole. You judge him. I felt so stupid.
I want to do first class for the one time.
It's not even anything anymore.
No, I'm talking about one of those crazy ones, when
there's a separate curtain and stuff,
and you got a bed and a bar and
yeah. Give me one of those. I want to get on a private plane one time.
Bro, you would probably never fly again if you got one of those little luxury suite things and flew, and then you would never go on coach again. You just be like, whatever trip is not worth it unless I'm riding that kind of seat.
Dude, if I had stupid money, I would buy a plane like Austin Powers had.
Oh yeah.
And get a spinning bed. There's no point to it. But just have
spinning while you're in the air, that's fucked.
I know.
Yeah, that is wild.
You should just adjust your bed to make it spin and just hit it one day.
Dude, you know how you would have no flight anxiety if you had that kind of just sit at the bar, man. We're about to take off. Okay.
Dude, that'd be weird sitting at a bar trying to go.
Yep. You'd have to probably buckle in at some point. But even if it's just like, yeah, you can go lay in the bed, watch a movie.
I would just put weird stuff up there just to say I did something at 30,000 feet. Like,
built Legos.
Yeah, or play ping pong. I'd have a ping pong table in there.
Yeah.
Air hockey. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was an intense game of foosball over Arizona today. It was intense.
Can you imagine, too, like, back in this, like, they're just smoking joints and cigarettes. Like, you have, like, no rush to get off the plane. She's like, oh, I'm smoking a cigarette. Take as long as you want to get the ramp. Yeah, all right. Yeah,
dude, that's something.
The stairway's taking forever? Not a big deal. I'm just going to have another cigarette.
I wish I could have flown when it was a luxury, not a hassle.
Yeah, back
You'd
when,
smoke cigarettes on the plane. You'd have a fucking drink. You'd enjoy it. Now you're stuck. Now you're worried about who you're going to get stuck with. You're going to either get stuck next to the middle-aged woman who never shuts up. You're going to get next to the crying kid. You're going to next to the fat guy who smells like beer and wings. You know.
Where is the stewardess that gives the BJs like it used to be?
Yes.
I need that. I want a hot towel. Maybe I want my back scratched.
Hey, I'll return the favor. It's not a one-way street here.
Sure. Find us a bathroom. Yeah. You know all the ins and outs of this plane. Look, let's get weird. Let the pilot feel a titty. We can sit in one of the seats in there, you know? I don't care. He could watch. That doesn't bother me. We're having a fun time.
Yeah, she could go to the cockpit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I did there? But yeah. That's all right. We'll worry about that later. Now, let's go into see what's up with the boys here and figure out more facts about this movie. Woo. Welcome to the What Do You Know here. This is a segment here where we're here to tell you something that you may or may not know about this movie. Now, if this is your first time here, this is how it's going to go down. We're coming right up your ass here with facts. Now, you may know what we know, you may not know what we know. But if you know what we know, you're going to have a we know-gasm. But if you don't want to know what we know, we're going to have, you're going to figure out what we know, and then you're going to have a we know-gasm too. I'm sorry, I fumbled a little bit there, but, sometimes I don't talk fast, and I do talk fast, and it's hard to talk fast when you haven't talked fast in a long fucking time. But anyway, here we are. I'm rusty. It'll come back to me. So, who went first last time? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember.
We gotta start keeping track of this stuff.
Look here.
Huh? You gonna go first?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Why don't you tell me something that you know?
Look, I'm not gonna lie. So when
You're not supposed to.
When this script got out there, all these people, a lot of people were very interested. Wes Craven like this. It was one of those page-turner scripts where those people were like, wow, this will be a good movie. Well, the bad guy, Mr. Cillian Murphy, when he got a hold of that script, he wanted to be Jack so bad that, he told Wes Craven, and Wes Craven was, like, considering it, but he's like, well, he's Irish. This is supposed to be, like, an American guy. Cillian says, no, I'm the guy for this role. So what he tells the guy, he says, look here, I'm going to get on a plane in England, and I'm going to fly all the way to America to have lunch with you to convince you I need this role. But it was 2 days before his wedding. So 2 days before Cillian's wedding, this motherfucker was on a plane from England to America to convince Wes Craven to put him in this movie. Now, I don't, that's a big travel before a big day like that, so there you go. I'm happy he did it. He did a good job in the movie. It was a good picture.
The man has a lot of ambition.
He's crazy.
Good for him. He he got the red eye. Not the pink eye, the red eye. He got it.
He's always been known for having those red eyes.
Yeah, but it's good, though. That's a fantastic fact. I did not know that. What a work ethic.
Now, you got some stuff about this?
He was probably a manager his first job.
He was.
Yeah, I know a fact about this movie. So, as you can tell, this movie takes place on a plane.
An
airplane. Guess what? This is a custom-made airplane. They took different parts of all different planes. Interior, exterior, everything on this plane for filming is, for the film. Because they did, obviously, you film everything on the ground, you're not in the air.
They didn't film this in the air?
No, they didn't film it in the air. You know how hard that is? So they were never in the air. everything is custom made on this airplane. The bathroom is custom made. The seats are different. All kinds of different seats, different. Everything is different. Custom made. What a budget. What a fucking budget. Hey, here's another fact for your ass.
Yeah.
I got one more for you. You know how they made the turbulence? No camera tricks.
They weren't in the air, apparently.
No, but they put the plane on hydraulics and made it go up and down and
like a lowrider.
That's a lot of hydraulics.
That is a lot of hydraulics.
That's a lot of fluid for the hydraulics. What a budget. Wow. You'd think you would just shake the camera and be over with, but no. They shook the whole fucking plane. It's like a huge shake weight.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I know.
Now, that's some good facts there. That's some good stuff.
It's a fantastic fact.
I feel like people who know Red Eye, now they know more stuff about Red Eye. And, the day's going to feel a little better when they're watching it. When they see that turbulence on the plane, or they see that blue-eyed devil, Mr. Cillian Murphy, they're going to say, I know a little bit about this.
Yes, I do. And now you're educated.
There you go.
Now you're smarter than you were 2 minutes ago.
I'm intelligent. Okay, I think that's all we got. Ozark. Now, here's something interesting. Now, when you're filming, let's do a little trivia here. When you're making a movie, you have your main actors and things like that. But you can't just have two people. You got to have some background energy going on, some atmosphere, as they would call it. But what do you fill that atmosphere with? What do you call those people?
Extras.
Extras. That would be the correct word.
Thank you.
Now, what's very interesting about the movie Red Eye, with their extras in comparison to everyone else, all the extras on this plane were on the hook for like 6 fucking weeks. Like, it's not like you're just like, yeah, you show up today and you're behind the coffee shop and then that's it. If you were on the plane, to make the movie cohesive, everybody had to be in the same spot throughout the whole thing. So all of these extras, they got pretty paid in comparison to a normal extra role, because the length of the picture of being in that metal tube of the plane there on all the seats.
Be an easy goddamn work day.
For sure, dude.
Easiest, I mean, it would be hard. You'd have to sit there and do nothing for like 12 hours. But
yeah.
I feel like I could do it. Mm-hmm. I would just be the guy that sleeps.
Oh, that would be the best role.
Can I just sleep?
We want you guys to look really realistic.
I love how she gets on the plane and there's like one guy like rapping. There's another guy eating a thing of spaghetti.
Bro, how much noodles was that man eating at once?
Like, it was like a whole pack of ramen in one bite.
Yeah, that's a little intense.
It's a little intense.
I like the guy that was working with Jackson, like his hitman, the guy in like the gray BMW listening to smooth jazz sharpening a knife. Like, I feel like that guy would be my friend. Like, I kind of want to be that guy when I'm older. I like jazz. I like knives.
Why would he have a knife when you could just use a gun? He had a gun.
He did have a gun, but, he was adding spice to it. And he says, he's probably sitting in his gray BMW listening to smooth jazz, sharpening up his 12-inch K-bar. That's a knife, please.
I love how when he first confesses of what he's there for, and he's trying to make her to get the call, but she's like not having it. She's like going through her mind, obviously, of what she can do and what she can get out of this. And he's just like, you're probably going through a female mindset right now of what can do this, what to do that. And
he said, whatever's going through your female fact-driven mind basis right now, you gotta let it go.
He's like, here's a male fact base for you. Call or your dad's dead. That's it. Just cuts her to pieces.
Now, here's the question I would have. What would you do if you were her and somebody says, I'm going to kill Mr. Ozark?
Well, I mean, assess the situation. What can you do? I mean, do you really know these people? No.
Yeah, I mean, it was going to happen regardless.
It was going to happen regardless, and I'm not gonna put my family into jeopardy for random people that are just guests at my hotel that I say occasional hi to.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty easy.
I highly doubt that she even got a Christmas card from these people.
No.
That, you know what I mean? So, Yeah, I would just be like, okay, where's the phone?
Yep.
Because there's nothing you could do. You're on a fucking plane.
You guys just talk for the rest of the time about the game?
Yeah.
No way, bro.
Like,
Brady's QBR is no way near what it was 2 years ago.
You know, I don't, that's the best chance that my father would have to live because, like, you know, there's a hitman out there. Like, I don't care who you are, you're not prepared for a hitman. Even if you're prepared for a hitman, this ain't the movies. Yeah, the best thing is just give them what they want and get the fuck out of there. I'm not going to be a hero. I'm not going to stab this man in his throat in a pen and run off the plane, run through the terminal, try to get past security, go out there. Hopefully there is a car running from 2 people picking up their luggage so I can steal that and try to get out of a busy terminal without wrecking the car. And then try to drive all the way home before the hitman discovers that something's wrong. He's not going to call and just goes in there and kills him anyway because that's his job.
Yeah.
So what do? Just make the call.
Yeah, that's what I would have done.
Just make the call. Get them what they do.
Yeah,
and
see if
then
this
you're
guy
out
can
of
give
there.
you a job, you know? Just like, hey, dude, like,
Really?
can I, like, be, like, at a lower level than you? You know, just, like, a nice, like, you know, $250K a year. I mean, I'll help you out.
Yeah.
Whatever you got to do. Like, you need somebody to, like,
You
you
need
know?
somebody to, like, book your tickets. I could do that.
Yeah, I could book your tickets, or if you need me to, like, stand guard and tell you when
I'll
certain
spy.
people...
I'll spy on the person and tell you what they want.
Oh, yeah.
That's how he knew she's got the drink and everything. The suave her. Be like, oh, you want a sea breeze?
Yep.
Again, typical broad thinking the romantic Prince movie shit's gonna happen. Like if some guy guesses your drink,
Run.
yeah, run. There's no way. There's no fucking way. Unless he says tequila, because that's obvious if you're a white girl. Like you pretty much, if you're a partier, you probably like tequila. That's an easiest bet. Yep. But if it's something specific, like a fucking sea breeze or some shit, get out of there. It's something that you should learn from these thriller and horror movies, okay? I'm telling you, there's a lot more education in these movies besides the facts.
Don't be trusting people.
No, don't trust nobody.
Don't be trusting nobody.
I don't trust for nobody.
I like the 2 rude hotel guests in this movie. Like they're like assholes, you know?
Yeah,
like,
at the end, at the end, they go to complain again, and she's just done with their shit. Like, why don't you fill out a comment card? Yeah.
You want us to fill out a comment card?
Yeah, and then once you're done with that, just shove it right back up your ass.
Everybody's wanted to say that to a customer at
Oh,
work.
my God, yes.
Shove it up your ass.
Yeah, why don't you take it, okay? And then just, shove it right back up your ass.
Why don't you take that fucking donut and shove it up your ass?
You know what I'm about to shove up your ass? This rating.
Sloppy horror rating, baby, yeah!
It's very warm here in your anal cavity, but we are here to rate this movie on a horror movie scale, not a movie in general. This is the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Your favorite scary movie companion, Christian Ramey's, developed this system, and this is how it's going to go. We're going to do this in a series of 3 categories. 3 of the categories are worth 1 point. Last quarter, I fucked that up. 4 categories. Look, you know what? You've been here plenty of times. You know what it's... Wait, for how many points?
We've got 3 categories that are worth 3 points apiece, and 1 category that is worth 1 point apiece for
10 points altogether? You ruined it. I was supposed to do that part. I thought you were picking up what I was putting down, but obviously you don't have the strength to lift it. You don't have the strength to carry this load.
Look, we're in my ass right now. I can't... It's the magic school bus trip.
It's real gassy in here.
Gassy.
Somebody open a window.
Look.
So, now keep in mind, this is a horror movie scale. This is more of a thriller, but I'm interested to see what this score is going to be. So let's get into the first category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is casting.
Well, there's some excellent display of acting. I feel like it's going to be a 2. There isn't enough actors in this. Like Rachel McAdams and Cillian Murphy crush it. Nobody does a horrible job. It's just there's not a lot of everyone else, really. So it's a lot of these 2, which is very impressive. But
her dad's a famous actor, too.
What the hell is that guy's name?
He's in a lot of stuff. I know you recognize him. If you watch this movie, you'd recognize him for something else. He's in a lot of stuff.
What the hell is that guy's name?
I don't know.
Brian Cox.
Yeah.
What the hell is that guy? I think he was he the dude from Dodgeball?
He was in
Was he the guy that says if you could dodge a wrench, you
I
could
think,
dodge a ball?
he was that guy. He was also in, Ringer. He's in, all kinds of stuff. He just pops, one of those guys that pop in randomly.
He's been in quite a few movies.
But, but I definitely agree with that. It's not a star-studded cast, but there's a lot of extras, a lot of no-names in it, but their three main characters are high-name actors, so, it gives you a 2. It's great acting between the two of them. They're main characters throughout the whole thing. So that is 2 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the second category here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is kills.
Kills. All right. We got people dying, right?
There's 2 deaths.
Like with the explosion, correct?
No, nobody dies in the explosion.
Oh yeah, that's right. So we've got the
hitman,
security guard,
hitman dying, and then we have Killigan dying at the end with a gunshot.
Yep.
So it's 2. It's death on screen.
Yep, pretty mild deaths. Nothing too intense that you haven't seen outside of an action movie. So I feel like we're going to give this guy just your basic half a point. What do you think?
Yeah,
half a point?
they're cable television deaths. Like,
I like the way you
put
that.
It doesn't suit you at all. It's just like you see it coming. They're sophisticated.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I'd say the most graphic part is the pin being stabbed into his neck, and still that's done very selective in like how they shoot it.
Absolutely.
It's a little more than implied, but it's like flirting with that line of implied.
Yes. So it is 2.5 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the third category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is fear.
I'm struggling here because this is I feel like this is definitely a 1.5, but I don't know if it borders. No.
People aren't going to be scared of this movie after they see it.
I think people are nervous of flying in general. And this isn't like a boogie. This is real deal. This is a terrorist. This guy's a bad guy on a plane. So it's like here's how I'm going off of this. I'm not going like the residual effect. I'm going the edge on the seat feeling that you have this whole movie. Like the whole movie, like you are maybe not running up your stairs fast after you see it, but I feel like people are afraid of planes, and I definitely feel like it's a movie where it's like not heavily relying on jump scares. Like you're in the story, like you know what's going on. So,
well, I mean, I'm sure people will think of something when they see a random car sitting out in front of their street, just sitting there. They'd be like, "What's that?" I'd say 1 though. I want to go 1.5, maybe a 1.
A 1? All right,
maybe a 1. Because there's multiple things that you can get scared of. Like, there's a home invasion in there. There's a creepy guy, assassin, sitting out your front door, flying. People in danger, hostage. I get it, but they're,
It's not terrifying. It's more suspenseful. So
it's nerve-wracking, I guess.
We'll go 1. We'll go 1. But I would, in my heart of hearts, I would definitely say this is a edge of your seat thriller.
Well,
so
it is,
I mean, it keeps you in it the whole time.
Yeah, it gets your anxiety up, gets your heart rate going a little bit. I'm sure you get into it. Mm-hmm. So that is 3.5 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the final 1-point category for half a point each here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is rewatchability.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many times I've seen this, but it's quite a few. One of my favorites from Wes Craven, definitely one that I always like to mention because he has a lot of great movies, let's be honest. I mean, we're talking The Hills Have Eyes. We're talking A Nightmare on Elm Street. We're talking Scream. And that's just, the tip of the iceberg for Craven. So this one kind of this was later in his career. And I find people, since it isn't your true terrifying horror, sometimes people will skate over this one. And I think it deserves its respect. I think there's some great acting. It's just a fun movie. Honestly, it's one of those ones for me that if I see it on, which you don't see it on a lot, but if it was on, I don't really care what minute I'm in it. I'm just going to watch it. Like, I'm probably going to get sucked into it.
Yeah, it's a good story. There's good thrills in it. It's a Wes Craven movie. They're always comforting.
It's short.
Who's not going to... Yeah, it's an hour and a half. Thank God. That's awesome.
Love that.
Yes. So
there's a beauty in that. There really is, man.
Definitely a half point for me, too. So, that brings us to 4.5 out of 10 for Red Eye.
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
Yeah, it's a horror movie. Not a movie in general. It's a horror movie.
I like it. Seems fair.
It's pretty good to me.
I mean, it's a wild card.
East side, baby.
I definitely felt like this title definitely does fit the wild card category. When you initially said wild card season, I don't even know if you had like much intention for like what you wanted it to be. But
No,
like
I just honestly, that just came off the top of my head and came out of my ass.
But it sounded right. But like all these movies that we've been kind of doing are just kind of like, I mean, some they're horror, but I mean this one's kind of more on the line. But there's no Red Eye 2, 3, and 4. There's no like, you don't see Red Eye T-shirts everywhere you go. It's just kind of a random ass wild card movie, and
that makes a lot of sense.
Fourth Kind the same way.
Yeah.
I mean the ones that know. If you know kind of deal. But it's not prevalent everywhere.
I like it. And it's funny how many things we have gone with where you just ask me real quick and I'll just blurt the first thing that comes to mind and we've gone with it.
I love that because sometimes I like overanalyze.
You were overanalyzing the last season, the name of the last season. You're like, dude, I've been thinking of this for like a couple fucking hours now. I'm like, well, just call it the Sloppy Road to Halloween. You're like, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. I think that's really funny too. Throughout like our history of like music and podcasting, whatever, an idea that means nothing to the world, like helps I mean, maybe it entertains the world, so that's fun. You know, we look at it that way. But as far as like we're not solving cancer here, but I can come to you and be like, hey, I'm going to send you a voice clip and I want you to pair it with like a video, but I'm thinking like a carnival feel, almost like a Captain Spaulding's commercial mixed with kind of the music from Jurassic Park, but I want the colors from King of the Hill. Can you? And you're like, yeah, I got it. And then you'll send it back and it'll be 10 times better. There's been times music, you're like, dude, I need a hook for this. It's just weird when you can do that when you're stumped on it's like playing like a level on Mario when you're little and a big brother can just take the controller and beast the level and you're like, what the fuck? Like, you a wizard.
I know. It's like half the time you're like, I need an just give me the thing. What do you want? Just give me somewhere to start and then I'll take off and make it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that is fun. When I'm like, there'll be times I'm up at 3:30 in the morning.
Like I remember the logo. You wanted a logo. I was like, I want kind of like this and that. Very broad description of what the fuck you gave me. The broadest description ever, but like, okay. And then boom, here we go. And it stays, baby.
I feel like we've worked together so long. If somebody like came to you with a very accurate description, you'd be like,
what the fuck is that?
There's a little too much creative.
I can't tell you how many times you described a song to me and you gave me the broadest description. Like, what the fuck is that one song? And I just know it. So it's kind of like a weird connection that we have.
Yep.
Which is fucking weird.
It is, but we can make some stuff to entertain people. And
yes.
Which is, that makes me happy at the end of it, man. The amount of, I say it all the time, but I really have been humbled. I mean, we got a fan named Kurt. Yeah. Kurt told me he was going through liver shit. He had problems with his liver. And he said our show was making him feel better and entertaining him. And I'm like, Kurt, I can't handle that kind of pressure. I appreciate the love, buddy, but like I'm just
Oh, don't tell me that.
We're two dipshits down here talking movies.
Yeah, don't tell me that. That's pressure. Now I feel like I got to. Damn it.
I'm just honestly very humbled to be here for you guys week after week because it's obviously my passion.
I hope he's doing good though.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's bounced back. He's doing good.
Fuck yeah, dude. Mm-hmm. Fuck yeah. Good for you, man.
We met even our buddy Joe sending us fucking autographs and shit. I just saw that he got back on the Patreon. Which is, after our Bengals beat his Chiefs. So, I even feel for him after that.
Yeah. Yep. Joe Burrow is Patrick Mahomes' daddy, and you're going to have to accept that.
Yep.
Anyways.
Until next time, at least.
Anyways. It will be a next time. In about 5-6 weeks, we will be seeing you again. And then he will stomp you again.
Now, Ozark Mark, we are getting into the Christmas season, correct?
Hey there, hi there, ho, ho, ho there.
So not everybody celebrates Christmas, so but we're into the holiday season, if you will. So we're going to try to make it fun, a little bit festive for you boys and girls. We're going to throw something together. What? I don't know. But you guys, as always, we're seasonal people here. As you noticed, no matter what time of year we are in, we're trying to stay relevant somewhat with the movies. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I don't want to talk about The Shining in the summer. I don't want to talk about The Burning in the winter. There's certain things that just belong. And as much as I'm not like a crazy holiday Christmas guy, I recently just watched that new one that's on Shudder. It's called Christmas Bloody Christmas, and it's as my son would say, it's mid. It's mid. It's like not excellent, but it was definitely entertaining. It was a robot Santa who fucked everybody up. And I'm not going to lie to you, Ozark Mark, I enjoyed that. Now, we're not going to discuss that movie, but it gave me a feeling of, hey, we're in the holiday times, and people do, just because I don't enjoy holiday horror as much as the next guy, we can still find something right in the middle. It's very entertaining.
I think Home Alone is a horror movie.
It kind of is. Kind of is. The Salt guy was scary, and the Bird Lady from the second was nightmare fuel.
I'm sorry, dude. There's just a comfort during the holiday season when you're flipping on the TV and you see that movie and the brick scene from the second one.
Dog.
Oh my God.
You can't not laugh.
No, you can't. I'm telling you.
That's it, kid.
God, get thrown out a brick.
Dude, he would die. He would have fucking died.
He should have been dead. 5 stories up, you get hit with a brick.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Daniel Stern, the guy who plays Marv in those Home Alone movies, that guy's a great method actor. Like in the first one, when he comes in and steps on the ornaments, if you watch that again this season, look how full send he goes when he steps on those ornaments. Now, I'm sure they were made to break and safe for his foot to some degree, but
probably like sugar, that breakable glass or whatever it is.
But he went, he sent it. There was no hesitation, and he just his yell. You remember when
kill that kid?
You remember when they put the tarantula on him? Like he would just scream at the top of his lungs, and he was so funny. And the second one, he got covered in that paint, like what? Fucking, hey, we didn't deserve those movies, but we got them, dog.
100%.
So, I'm excited, man. It's honestly, it's been a wrap up to a great year. Listeners, you guys have been incredible, and if you want to get Sloppy Horror a great present, either join the Patreon, but if you don't want to do that, tell someone who would be interested in the show. You got to spread the word, okay? It's like a vampire. You got to get bit, baby.
Share us on the TikTok and tell them go here. Show us on your Facebook. Go here. Do whatever you need to do.
Put us on that TikTok.
Yeah, spread the word.
I was on the Facebook, so my granddaughter said she was a sloppy whore. These kids. We'd listen to radio programs when I was younger. We didn't call them podcasts, though. I remember when President Kennedy was assassinated.
Shut up.
On the radio.
Hold on.
I heard it.
You're assassinated on the radio.
That's how I pick up the phone when you get those weird where it says likely spam and you don't know if it is, but you like got a work call and you want to just make sure you're not missing important.
Hello.
I've met so many people with that voice.
My wife hasn't opened the garage door. I've been in here. I can't find my way out.
And then,
Okay. Well,
my life alert ran out of batteries.
Obviously, you could tell it's the end of the episode because we're going off the rails here. So, tune in next week for the next wild card in the deck.
I don't like flying. I'd much rather drive.
Okay, we're out of here.
I drive.
Goodbye.
Airplanes scare me.